Day 2. Okay, so I cleaned this desk up before I started doing this channel and couldn't find any shelves where I live that were affordable for the paints that I use. So I decided to use Velcro. And the theory was good, but I think the Velcro I bought was extremely affordable and not holding up on this IKEA closet. So I believe I'm going to have to buy the 3M Velcro to hold it up. But I like the way it works. So that's how most of my stuff over here is working. It's Velcro. I have a lot of Velcro. I have Velcro over here as well to hold up that stuff. Seems to do pretty good. Those are just hooks, but yeah, inside of an IKEA closet. Yesterday, I got the rest of the wanted posters. These are some of my favorites that I printed. They need to be trimmed. I'm set for 8.5 by 11, and I printed them on an A4 because we live in Valencia, and they don't use the 8.5 by 11. They use the A4, so they do need to be cropped. And I did make the next part of this phase, which I thought was really cool until I printed it. It is the bounty board that I thought was really cool. So you could mark the dates that you killed the abomination that you have. You just mark it on there. However, I just did a rough draft. I think I'm going to have to get this professionally printed. Here, let me do a close-up of it. I have to get it professionally printed and get it probably on an A3, which is here. A3 is, I'll just do this. The A3 is roughly the size of that green mat. So it's A4 is like this, so it's about 2 of these together. Yeah, so I'm going to go with an A3 and see how it looks and maybe post it right here. But I did come up with some cool ideas. If I can find my book. And I wanted to share them. I do have a list of where I want to take this board. I want to make, and I'm going to do it on the video. I've never really done anything like this particular thing because I've always tried to do the buildings, but I think if I just try with this, if I can find my pen, I think I want to take this and make a little miniature board for Zombicide Undead or Alive and kind of scale it so it's about this big, so it's a bounty board, and print these off, these images of these wanted posters. Actually, just, yeah, print these off. I don't have the dates on them, but I'm going to print them off and probably stick them on the board with wire that I have somewhere. I have that green wire. I think I'm going to cut it and pin it into the board. And I might use cardboard or popsicle sticks. I don't know yet, but my thought is I'm going to have the poles be here, so it'll look kind of like it has. I sketched this out. It'll kind of look like here's the poles, and then the board right here, and then the little my pen, and the little wanted posters. But what I'm wondering is about the skull thing here. I'm not sure what that's called. I think it's a cow skull or whatnot, but something like that. And I think I'm going to use green stuff and try to sculpt something I've never tried before and sculpt that and put it on top. I think that's what I'm going to try to do this week. And I also want to do 2 more things that I'm going to do this week. And I have them listed. I should get a board right here. Call it my idea board. But my thought is, here, let me see if I can get this to do overhead the best way I think I can without getting my finger in the way. Oh wait, I got a clamp back here. But let me, here we go. My thought is, I want to make this board. You know what? I'm not going to do it like this. I want to make this board so it comes out about this size. And it has all the wanted posters. But on top of that, I also want to make... I had this idea for a campaign mission, which I thought was really cool. And I just saw in the Zombicide Discord, Zombicide Fans Discord, I think it is, which would be really cool. And I'm not sure it would work for the competition, but I think it'd be really cool to build this out and kind of, if I can get the camera right, have it sit over and lay out the maps. But I would like to do a 99 Nights campaign, because my kids have been watching that stuff on YouTube, 99 Nights. Roadblocks game, if you haven't seen it. It's like there's like a deer that hunts you at night and you have to survive in the wilderness. But make it with the Zombicide theme. Hang on. I want to show you what abomination I think would look cool with this. Hang on. What I think would look really, really cool with this is if we use the Wendigo model. Don't judge me on the painting. I don't paint these ones because I want to wait until I come up with a cool thing, but I'll get to that in just a sec. Use this as one of the night creatures and use the Great Trickster as another one and kind of lay out the map. So what I'm thinking is we lay out the map and come up with this idea where we have a night and day, and I think change the rules a little bit, but here's what my thought process is. We take the night, and that's after everybody has a turn, and it turns to night, and then everybody has a turn, and then it turns to day. But what we do is after each person takes a turn in the night, the abomination, Wendigo, or the Great Trickster, depending on what head you put on them, what we do is they make a move after. So it's alternating turns instead of waiting for phases. It's an alternating turn system. And then we take each person, instead of doing all their actions at one time, can split them up in between them so they can avoid the Wendigo or the Great Thing, and then have the zombies be the cult following, but lay out the map, and then they try to keep... I don't think the supplies would really work. I tried to figure out that, but I was thinking like the crate tokens, have the crate tokens be put in there, and then they find loot or whatever, and maybe make our own loot. But I think that would really be cool. So I want to make that before the end of the month. So I'm going to put that down on my list. 99 Nights. Undead. Zombicide Undead or Alive. I think that would be really cool. So back to the painting part, though. There will be time on my channel when I paint. I'm not a very good painter, as you can see. I get a little zealous on some of the colors, but I do enjoy it, and they're not perfect. I mean, here's one of my first ones, the hot dog guy. He would make a cool cult. But I do want to paint these, but I want them to be that bright color. So I'm going to experiment later this week with a bag. Let me see if I have it readily available. Is this it? No, that's not it. What about this one? Oh, here we go. Yeah. So I got a few of these bags, miniatures that I bought on a lot. I'm going to prime these with this yellow. I got this yellow a while ago for primer. And I'm going to prime them with that and try to paint them and have this one be the dark one. But I want to use like a red, maroon, yellow, orange, brown type of color palette while keeping the steampunk colors, the metallic. But that's my thought. But I want to practice with this primer to see if it gives it that brightness look. Because I do notice when people paint miniatures with the black, it comes out dark, and I don't want that. I want the very bright looking one. Whereas this one was primed with a white. You can't really tell. And these ones were primed with a darker one. Does that zoom in? Yeah. These ones were primed with a darker one. So I like the lighter color and the dust feel. Especially when using like these fantasy these fantasy game paints. I really like the dust type of feel that it gets, but I don't have the colors I want in that. And I'd like to try it and then use some of these Vallejo ones that I got, the bright ones. But I would like to try with that and do that. So that'll be later. But the first thing that's going to happen is before this month, I'm going to plan out that Zombicide one, see if I can scale it and kind of go through the process on the video. And I want to make the board in it and print this in a bigger size. But these are now, I did make the PDF of these, are available on the link below. It's on the Buy Me a Coffee site. I use that as the blogging because it's just way easier for me. I don't like messing with WordPress. I've done it enough times. It's a pain in the butt. But I'm going to do that. And then after I get this printed and do the 99, there's another thing I want to add to this campaign. And I'm going to share that tomorrow. Because I think this is what's going to make that campaign even bigger and kind of allow us to expand and make it more like a video game thing. So be prepared for tomorrow. Lots to go over on that one. And then we're going to probably see about sometime this week making the board for this. But I'm definitely stoked about the 99 Nights version of Zombicide. I'm going to make that a campaign and post it somewhere. But yeah, I'm stoked about that. So if you're watching this, it'll be, if it's up, it'll be, I'll put a link down below. But other than that, man, I am stoked about the idea of a 99 Nights with this. What do you guys think?